and welcome to the NearSight and FarSight podcast brought to you by the investment professionals at InSight. My name is Kevin Taylor. This is the third in a four-part series where we are discussing the power and the nuance of having a good, properly managed trust as part of your legacy and estate planning. We've partnered with Clint and Carlisle, attorney over at Schaefer Thomas Mays, to discuss these nuances. And in the third part of this series, we're going to discuss the benefits and some of the possibilities regarding the estate planning and your trust has with your taxes. Clinton, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Clinton Carlisle. I am an attorney in Broomfield, Colorado. I've been practicing here for a number of years with the firm of Schaefer Thomas Mays. We are a small firm, 6 attorneys, that practices almost exclusively estate planning, which is wills and trusts, and administration after death. So we write the wills and the trusts, we help you create and fund them, and then we can help your beneficiaries administer them at death. Not all law firms do both sides. It's really helpful to have one that does, so they know exactly how this is going to be read, how it's going to be administered, how things are going to really work. I am a Texas native. I moved here for college, and now I live in Erie with my wife and 9-month-old son.
So much of our clients use estate planning as a tax mitigation effort. Tell us a little bit about the benefits. Why taxes are so intrinsically tied to both revocable and non-revocable trusts, and what our clients can expect to be able to mitigate when it comes to taxes personally.
Okay, so that's a good question. And I'm going to start, because they're so different, I'm going to start with revocable trusts and the effect it has on your taxes. So a revocable trust is not going to have any or very minimal effect on your taxes. You're not going to file a tax return for this revocable trust while you're living. Any assets you assign or title into the trust are still going to be reported on your personal returns. And it's really going to have limited effect until your death. After your death, then it becomes irrevocable, and it's in this other category that I'll talk about in a minute. The other kind of question that comes along with taxes is mortgage. So when you have a mortgage on property or debt on property, can I put it into a trust, and how's that going to be affected? So with a revocable living trust, for your primary residence especially, there's no effect. So you're entitled to, under something called the Garn-St. Germain Act, to place your house into a living trust. And the lender can't say anything negative about it. Some of them might try when you refinance, and you might have to take it out to refinance into your own individual name again, but they cannot force you to refinance. Now, for irrevocable trusts and how those affect taxes, that's quite a bit different. So an irrevocable trust is its own tax-paying entity. There are 2 classes of irrevocable trust. There's a grantor irrevocable trust and a non-grantor irrevocable trust. A grantor irrevocable trust is one in which you have let go of your ownership of these assets. It's into an irrevocable trust now. You cannot take it back, but you've promised to continue paying income taxes on them. That's a handy vehicle for us for some purposes, especially estate tax planning, where we want to get assets outside of your taxable estate, but we don't have anybody else who we want to pay the income taxes on them yet. The other type of irrevocable trust is the non-grantor. This is an entirely separate tax-paying entity. It pays its own taxes from its own funds. A non-grantor trust will file a 1041, just like you file a 1040. Every year, it'll report income, and then it will make distributions of that income, very similar to an LLC. They're more complex than pass-through LLCs and other entities like that, but they operate in a somewhat similar fashion.
Clint, that's really great information. Is there a difference between one irrevocable trust and another? Like, are there different types of irrevocable trusts that people use to get money out of their estate? I could see that being an issue for people that want to maybe give some money to their kids, but maybe not their brokerage account or their retirement account, maybe their home or something along those lines. Can you help our clients understand the different types of, maybe just on a high level, of some different irrevocable trusts that they may use?
Yes, there's a lot of different types of irrevocable trusts, and each one has an acronym because we have a lot of acronyms in our business. A lot of them are spelled out in the Internal Revenue Code. Some are creations of attorneys, but the reasons you might use one, for instance, is a charitable remainder trust. That's a very common thing that we use, in which you put assets into a trust, it pays you money back over time, and then the remainder goes to charity. This kind of a trust and a lot of different other kinds of trusts are for estate tax planning, to shift assets out of your estate, and for income tax planning, to reduce your income taxes or defer when you have to pay them. So they are common in that structure. Now, the other type of common structure is just an irrevocable trust in which you are gifting assets to your children. Commonly, clients will set up an irrevocable trust that they make gifts to every year of what's called the annual exclusion amount, $15,000 a year per person right now. So you'll write a check to this trust for $15,000 a year. That gets the money out of your taxable estate at death, and doesn't allow the kids to necessarily access the funds right now if they're minors or otherwise not really fit to be handling $15,000 a year. You can wrap it up in this trust structure. So it's a handy way to continually be giving things and getting out of your estate, but not necessarily be just writing a check to a child or other person.
That's fantastic. Thank you very much. If somebody has heard something that they found very important, or they just want to ask you a question, what is the best way for them to reach out and to engage you, Clinton, to get more information?
Yeah, so if people want to contact me directly, like I said, my law firm name is Schaefer Thomas Mays. S is in Sam, T is in Tom, M is in Mary. You can find us at stmlawfirm.com. Phone number 303-469-7367. And my email is on the website. You can find me at ccarlisle, CCARLISLE, at stmlawfirm.com. Feel free to call anytime. Usually we will have a quick intro call with you just to talk about your situation, tell you what our process is like and what expected fees might be. And then we'd have you in the office to look over your existing plan, talk about what options you have for going forward, and design a plan just for you. So it's a long process that you would get to know me pretty well. It takes several weeks for us to know everything about you, talk to your advisors, and create your plan. I'd love to talk with you anytime. Feel free to give me a call. I think the number will be in the description below also.
Thank you very much, Clinton. It has been fantastic having you as part of this. This has been the third in a 4-part series that we've done, uncovering the benefits and possibilities of having a good, properly maintained trust as part of your financial process. If you haven't, go back and watch the basics and some of the benefits and pitfalls that happen with the protections of probate. In the next and the 4th installment, we're going to discuss some of the maintenance you can expect as part of this. This has been NearSight and FarSight, brought to you by the investment professionals at InSight.